Hello, my name is Boris Provatorov. I am the head of the press service of RosCo Consulting and Audit Company. For what violations can a migrant be placed on the register of controlled persons? What happens if a foreigner fails to take advantage of the migration amnesty by September 10th of 2025? Stay informed. A special deportation regime was introduced for migrants illegally residing in Russia. The Ministry of Internal Affairs Migration Services were given the authority to expel illegal immigrants from the country. A registry of controlled individuals was launched to keep track of violators. For what violations are migrants included into the register? According to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, as of the 1st of September 2025, 770,000 migrant offenders were included into the registry of monitored individuals. The lion's share of violation is connected with the expiration of temporary residence permits, TRPs, including those for the purpose of obtaining an education or the residence permit. Migrants may also be added to the registry for the following reasons: illegal entry into Russia, visa revocation, refusal to consider a refugee application, imposition of a penalty in the form of deportation from the Russian Federation, a decision to shorten the period of temporary stay or terminate Russian citizenship. A foreigner may be stripped of their Russian passport for failing to register for military service. From the 1st of September 2025, visa-free foreigners in Moscow and the Moscow region will be required to install the Amina mobile app. In the app, migrants must record their place of residence and provide access to their geolocation to the Ministry of Internal Affairs Migration Services. It's important to note that failure to provide geolocation data within 72 hours in the Amina app will now be grounds for inclusion in the registry. On what grounds can migrants have their stay extended? Migrants have the right to stay in Russia for no more than 90 days in total per year. To extend this period, legal grounds are required, including obtaining a temporary residence permit or residence permit, obtaining, extending or renewing a patent, being a participant in the state program for voluntary resettlement to the Russian Federation or a family member of such a participant, having a close family member who is a Russian citizen or a foreigner with a residence permit. Family members include spouse, children, parents, grandparents, and grandchildren. In practice, a common situation is when a migrant fails to leave Russia after expiration of their stay and then marries a Russian citizen. However, the marriage occurred during the period of the foreigner's illegal stay in Russia, resulting in an administered fine and deportation from the Russian Federation. Full-time or part-time study at the Russian educational institutions to obtain secondary, vocational or higher education. In this case, the period of stay extended until completion of studies, conclusion of an employment or civil contract for the performance of work or provision of service for foreigners from the EAEU member states. It's important to note that an application for extension of migration registration must be submitted to the Ministry of Internal Affairs before the expiration of the existing registration. Has the migration amnesty been extended? Starting the 11th of September 2025, illegal immigrants will no longer be able to legalize their stay in Russia without administrative penalties. There is no alternative way to migration amnesty. Therefore, leaving Russia and then re-entering it doesn't count as an extension of stay in the Russian Federation. Such illegal immigrants are added to a register of controlled individuals. Therefore, if an illegal foreigner leaves Russia after the 10th of September 2025, they will have several violations upon their return. An overstay in Russia that wasn't resolved before the 10th of September 2025, a migrant may be denied subsequent entry into Russia for 5 or 10 years. Violation of the rules of stay in Russia no more than 90 days in total during 2025. After 90 days in Russia, a migrant must spend at least 275 calendar days outside the country. Are you facing immigration issues? RosCo's team of experienced lawyers can help you obtain a visa, residence permit, or citizenship. We guarantee legal support, a personalized approach, and confidentiality. Trust our experts. Use promo code VIDEOROSCO for a 15% discount. See all contact information in the description. Don't delay. Act now. What should migrants do after the migration amnesty ends? Currently, migrants cannot regulate their status without consequences, except in case of erroneous inclusion in the registry. Technical issues related to improper inclusion typically occur in exceptional cases. Therefore, a migrant listed on the registry is considered a violator and must leave Russia. If a migrant wishes to remain in Russia and has not yet legalized their status in time, they should contact the Ministry of Internal Affairs and branch of Passport and Visa Service of the Moscow MMC Sakharova. If the migrant has no outstanding mandatory payments and hasn't received any administrative fines, they may only be fined from 2,000 to 7,000 rubles for violating immigration laws without deportation from Russia. Foreigners must submit biometric data, undergo a medical examination, and provide proof of proficiency in Russian and knowledge of Russian history and legislation. Otherwise, being on the registry imposes significant restrictions on migrants' access to banking services, official employment, medical care, and enrollment of their children in kindergarten and school. However, if a migrant has previously been subject to administrative penalties, has resided illegally in Russia for an extended period, and has taken no steps to legalize their legal status, the courts will uphold the penalty of administrative deportation from Russia. We also promptly share all important news and changes in the immigration sphere on our social media. Subscribe to stay up to date. Conclusion. Let's summarize. In most cases, the reason for inclusion in the registry is the expiration of the migrant's temporary stay in Russia. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has set up an automatic mechanism for calculating these periods. If a migrant fails to leave Russia within established deadline or fails to apply for an extension, they are included in the registry of monitored individuals. Migrants were able to legalize their status without sanctions until the 10th of September 2025. As of September 11th, migrants can no longer regularize their status without administrative penalties. Such foreigners may be deported from Russia and subsequently banned from entering for at least 5 years. Thank you for watching the video to the very end. My name is Boris Provotorov. Do you have any questions? Don't delay. Write them in the comments right now and our lawyers from RosCo will answer them for free. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay up to date, stay connected with RosCo.